All right, we got y'all know I have a hard time saying his name. We got it's something like that. This is Cosmic Goat versus Empty Goat. It's close, bro. Like I said, bro, it's just all a little fun thing. Yo, y'all know me. I'm giving it to Empty Goat. I like Cosmic Garou too. Cosmic Goat, I like him as well. But I just gotta get Empty Goat, bro. And like, you know what I'm saying? The battle still isn't over, bro. It's still so much. We haven't seen too much from him right now. Well, we kind of did. We know he can absorb in other things and all that, but we know he also can like use space, like cover that thing. You know, yeah, we saw some of it, but you know, now he ain't got his sword. Now we got to see how he is with, you know, action with them hands. But you know, let me start yapping. Let me start yapping, and let's check this out.
Empty Void vs Cosmic Fear Garou is now the most controversial and contested battle we have in the One Punch Man series.
Y'all know Empty Go all day, bro. I love Yo, like I said, it doesn't matter who y'all go for, man. Me, I'm going with Empty Go, bro. In the web comment, bro, like that build up. Jefferson told me like the animal. I'm like, oh my god. But now we got him now. Like, see some of his stuff, what he can do. So yeah, I know I'm giving it Empty Goat, bro.
Characters that were amped directly from the entity they call God, rendering them to exert powers beyond anyone not named Blast or Saitama. So in this video, I'll be analyzing all what we've got from both of these characters, their abilities, hacks, and physical stats to figure out who is really the strongest avatar between the two. I also want to note that
Goat, it Cosmic Garou, but it's Empty Goat. It's Cosmic Garou, but it's really Empty Goat. All you can say is Empty Goat and Cosmic Garou with a landslide. Or it can be Cosmic Garou with Empty Goat with a landslide. It all depends, bro. It all depends.
This video has already been made by this handsome bastard who beat me to it, so go ahead and check it out. Without further ado, let's get on with this video.
Yakinas. I'm about to say his name right.
Now, I want this video to be organized in a term where I explain everything we've got so far and what matters for this matchup step by step, regardless of who do you think wins by the end of the day. The first thing that needs to be talked about is obviously the narrative, since there are a few pieces of evidence that suggest, at least before we've got these recent chapters, that Void is meant to be stronger than Garou. The first bit here comes from Blast stating in chapter 195 that a greater threat than Garou is imminent, most likely referring to Void, backed up by saying that he was equal to him in ability, and now since he received
and then back then when Blast confirmed that Empty Goat could have easily killed him like 15 years ago, back then, bro, come on.
Powers from God, he should have a clear big edge. So my main issue with this is that Blast should be creditless on estimating how strong Garou is. Remember, in his perspective, and due to Saitama reversing time, he has only seen Garou in his initial cosmic state, the one that can perform nuclear fissions, tangled with Saitama for a little bit, and pushed him away with the gamma ray burst. He eventually witnessed Saitama one-shotting Garou and maybe thought that this guy isn't really that big of a deal. It's also possible that Blast wasn't aware of Garou's ability to copy and evolve, or at least didn't know the extent.
And then I just realized Cosmic Garou never landed a punch on Blast.
Of it, since he should have already seen him copy Saitama's consecutive punches, but was still very shocked that Garou copied both his gravity knuckle and his portal.
Impressive though, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I understand where Blast is coming from, since copying a barrage of normal punches and syncing them with your opponent definitely doesn't require a genius mimicker, and Blast probably didn't think Garou can copy something as complex as the gravity knuckle. Blast in the original timeline also approached Garou with the initial plan to talk to him first rather than forcibly teleport him out of the dimension, knowing that Garou still retains at least some humanity and is not fully controlled, in contrast to Void, who at the time of this statement should be fully manipulated by God. Another important factor that should be discussed is the fact that
I've been waiting 15 years for this, Brody.
Void has been controlled by God for years, and he should proficiently be leagues better in controlling and understanding his abilities than someone who just attained his divine powers. So all of these functions to convey that Blast doesn't really have an overall idea of how strong Cosmic Fear Garou is or could be. Now the second bit comes from the fact that Blast was able to move faster than both Saitama and Cosmic Fear Garou to eventually teleport them away from Earth. And since we've seen that Void not even fully recovered was completely relative to Blast, he should...
Yeah, he can use the, like I said, Void can use like the space, grab the space and just...
be at least faster than both Saitama and Garou. Pair that with the fact that Empty Void absorbed all of Garou's divine powers, and therefore he arguably is stronger than him. But you see, here's the issue in...
Yeah, see, Empty Goat can absorb. So what Cosmic Garou gonna do? Fusion? No, he gotta look, okay.
All of this. We have already seen a brief exchange between Blast and Garou, and the former doesn't really seem like he is that much faster than the latter. I mean, if that was the case, why didn't Blast blitz him to the other dimension, since that's the top priority to do alongside with saving Earth? Why didn't he save Janos in time before he gets killed? You can even argue that Blast was mentally nerfing himself and still holding back not to endanger Earth, but to be...
that's what I believe. I believe he probably like he was trying to like still hold like what all that radiation and something like that.
Honest, that's a completely stupid argument. Holding back in this matter is actually endangering the planet. Logically speaking, this feat has always been extremely radiation, and the only thing that would make it make sense is that Saitama was at the end of the day holding back, and since Garou copied his movements to imitate the serious punch, he was moving at a nerfed speed than before. I swear I hate this argument. I mean, I get it, you can be raged and serious and still holding back. There's also another explanation that I have, and I think it's the case, but it's tied to something that I would be talking about next, so hear me out. Now, the third bit comes from Void's crazy hacks that everybody keeps talking about, which is the Dimensional Slash, one of God's powers that interferes from the higher dimension, stated by Blast to ignore distance, size, and energy. This has led many to believe that this attack should possess instantaneous, infinite, or irrelevant speed, at least only when not regarding the higher dimension. However, here are the main issues that many people in the community have with this attack. 1. This attack has been traveling, and 2. This attack has been reacted to. In chapter 201, Flash has clearly reacted to the attack, and in the same panel, you can clearly see the attack crossing distances or traveling. And in chapter 207 and 208,
but he couldn't dodge it. He still got hit by it. He probably saw it coming, but he couldn't like react to it in time. He couldn't dodge it in time.
9, you can again see it traveling, with Blast, Flash, and Sonic seemingly reacting to it. It's also been stated that the extent the Dimensional Slash ignores distance,
but it's so much stuff. Like, you gotta put in, okay.
Size and energy all depends on the capabilities of the subject. And maybe, just maybe, Void at the end of the day cannot really ignore distance. So does that mean with enough speed and awareness, one can certainly dodge the Dimensional Slash? The answer for me is an absolute no. You see, Flashy Flash...
Wait, I ain't listening.
Notice that maybe, just maybe, Void at the end of the day cannot really ignore distance. So does that mean with enough speed and awareness, one can certainly dodge the Dimensional Slash? The answer for me is an absolute no. You see, Flashy Flash noted that Void isn't someone you can handle with speed. So when he was against him and Void disappeared, his first initial thought...
Yeah, I can say he gonna span a crap. He gonna be using the crap out of that hyperspace, bro.
Is that he is going to use the Dimensional Slash since he has prior knowledge of it. There's no reason to think that he actually sensed it when before he didn't. And according to Empty Void, even Blast, someone who has shown extreme proficiency in the speed department, is still not capable of dodging the Dimensional.
You cannot dodge the Dimension Slash anymore.
dimensional slash without quote-unquote fist bumping. And this is an important piece of information that we're gonna tackle in a minute. So why do we actually see this attack traveling if it's eventually going to hit no matter what? The answer is yes, it is traveling, but it's traveling in its own time. Now, we know that void inside the higher dimension operates outside of the universe's causality, and the sword's properties keeps carrying this ability once entering our universe. That means that the sword would affect anything that ignores causality. We eventually see the sword moving in their own time that is passing in the higher dimension. But in this universe, despite we as readers seeing it moving, it actually moves instantly. Kinda like the domain expansion, once somebody performs it, it actually hits. But I know there is a big problem with this logic, since if it's the case, why was Blast able to move when we clearly see the dimensional slash already performed? So to fully understand how this works, let's now talk about Blast portals, because I believe that this is very, very important regarding this matchup. Alright, so I was really surprised that not a lot of people in the community has noticed that Blast for now has two types of portals, the normal circular portal and the one that looks like a black hole. Blast can use the circular portal without fist bumping, as we've seen in chapter 209.
So okay, so them little portals, but the black holes portals, cause that when he hold that and got the infinite symbol. So I guess it makes, okay.
But it is definitely...
See, with this one, it can do the infinite, see the infinite symbol and then the black hole, I guess because it's higher, something like that.
To fist bump to use the black hole's portal, the only thing that allows him to escape the dimensional slash, used to protect the hero's headquarters, Flashy Flash, Sonic, and himself. So what's the difference between the circular portal and the black hole portal? Alright, in the previous chapter 209, when Void teleported to the higher dimension to use the dimensional slash, Blast, Flash, and Sonic were utterly cooked. Nothing remains to do, and it was clear as day that Blast has no options whatsoever. But why didn't he use the circular portal and transfer his blood flow and neural signals between the severed parts of his arm, just like he did later in this chapter to fist bump and escape the dimensional slash? The answer is simply the speed of when he wants to use the circular portal obeys the time and causality of this universe. But later in the same chapter, when Void still didn't complete the hand signs to go back to the higher dimension, Blast used that golden opportunity to use the circular portal to eventually fist bump, which means that when he wants to fist bump and use the black hole portals, all these actions doesn't obey fist bump and use
Means to ignore the fact that outside.
Use the black hole portals, all these actions doesn't obey the causality of this universe, which explains why he was able to dodge the slash even when we've seen it coming, and teleports both Saitama and Garou in space before they connected their fists. I mean, the infinity sign is apparent when he fist bumps, so maybe that means that only action is not bound to this versus causality. Blast can also detect anomalies in the dimension, so most of the times he already knows that the slash is coming. And when he was able to save Sonic, he was already shown to be inside and moving with his black hole portal not to be detected. It's also not fair to say that the slash is traveling in the sense where it's obeying the causality of this universe, when the first time it was introduced, you can clearly see from an outside perspective that the slashes just spawned without traveling. And the reason Saitama was able to catch the dimensional slash is because Saitama is obviously the one above all and can move outside of causality. Now, the fourth thing we need to mention is, can Garou copy Void's ability to travel to the higher dimension alongside with the dimensional slash? Look,
now me, can Cosmic Goat copy? He can copy, but is there certain things he probably can copy? You get what I'm saying? Something like that. Something like that.
This thing here is completely complicated. You can simply answer with I clearly don't know. You see, the things that we must be considering are the following. 1. The reason Garou's ability to copy was amped to its absolute limits is because he gained the knowledge of the flow of all energy and the behavior of all forces in this universe. But this ability and how it works functions outside of this universe on a completely different system than what Garou is accustomed to. 2. Garou is described as a failed creation who couldn't master a technique that would grant him the ability to reverse causality and perform an absolutely unavoidable punch, which could be interpreted as that something on that level would also be very difficult to copy or master. And 3. Garou can even use mode Saitama, but doesn't mean he can use whatever Saitama can do. Garou was shocked that Saitama grabbed the space portal and kicked it away, but never showed the ability to replicate that feat by copying, despite having seen it once. So, can he operate outside of causality and use the dimensional slash like Void did?
That'd be crazy right there. Dimensional chop. Ugh, that'd be nasty, bro.
I highly doubt it, since by the end of his fight against Saitama, he clearly states that there are some techniques and abilities that are beyond him even when he has powers from God.
Oh, well, that's it right out there. That's it right out there. He can't use dimensions. He can't use the dimension blade or dimension slash. So he really probably can't go outside of causality. He probably can't do that. It's just certain thing. He probably can do that other technique that Empty Goat did. That spiral wind. Is it spiritual wind? That right there. He probably can do that move. He probably can do like the absorb. But outside of causality, yeah, he can't do that. He can't do that one right there. He can't do that one. So, I don't know.
However, if he can still do it, I wouldn't be surprised. The evidence I put on the table are honestly not sufficient enough for me to say that Garou can't copy it, so we simply still don't know. So with all of this being said, how would this fight go?
It's pretty much, it could be a toss-up. If y'all think Cosmic Goat got it, then, cool. If y'all think Empty Goat got it, then, hey, yo, salute. Hey, yo, it can go either way, how y'all want to do it. How y'all want to do it. But he did say that Cosmic Garou, he can't copy like too much of the stunting. So yeah, no, he can't go outside that causality. So, I'm just saying.
Now, there are 3 versions of Cosmic Fear Garou I want to talk about in this matchup. Initial Cosmic Fear Garou, Garou after he fought Blast, and Jupiter Garou. So in terms of physical stats, Void can absolutely keep up with Cosmic Fear Garou in his initial state and even after he fought Blast, since we've seen that Blast was certainly relative and fairly contending with Garou, and since Void fought with an arguably stronger version of Blast, he should be able to replicate the same thing but on a slightly higher version of Blast.
Damn it.
As fairly contending with Garou, and since Void fought
I say Cosmic Garou can do when he did that he Belgian, he can do that that spiritual wind thing, whatever. He can do that. He can copy that move.
with an arguably stronger version of Blast, he should be able to replicate the same thing but on a slightly higher level. But when it comes to Jupiter Garou, he should be on a completely different level than Blast or Void. The growth graph clearly shows that he and Saitama evolved to a point where they eclipsed their previous selves many times. So being relative to someone like Blast, who yes became stronger than before, isn't actually enough to take on Jupiter Garou. So if they start the fight on their feet like it happened with Blast, Garou would certainly be able to one-shot and blitz Void no problem. The difference in speed, strength and durability is just massive. If Blast needed help from his companions to hold and redirect the Serious Punch Squared energy away from Earth, there's absolutely no way Void can withstand hits from a Garou that evolved much beyond that level. However, the most pressing ability in this matchup for Garou is Void's Dimensional Slash. How would he deal with such an overpowered hack? So it all depends on the conditions of this fight. Let's say Void never appeared to Blast and just uses the Dimensional Slash from a higher dimension like he did to the Hero Association. Can you say for certain that Garou can react to it without prior knowledge of its existence? Maybe use a portal like Blast to escape its range. But the problem here is that Garou has only been seeing copying these circular portals. portals, not the one that looks like a black hole. Yes, Blast bumped his fist before attacking Garou, but he didn't use the black hole portals. And prior in those chapters, Blast used to use a different hand sign to summon the black hole portals, which means he either got strong and honed his abilities enough to use that type of portal now in a fight, or he didn't feel the need to use it against Garou, in contrast to Void, who he has been preparing for years. You can clearly notice when Void transforms.
So you know what I'm saying? Cosmic Garou can copy this move, spiritual wind or whatever. But yeah, Cosmic Garou don't got that little black hole thing. So yeah, GG, probably GG.
Into his second state, Blast was only dodging him with the black hole portals. I'm guessing he didn't want to take any chances, seeing
if Cosmic Garou don't know how to do with the black holes, then yeah, that could be a wrap.
How he surprised him in the previous chapter. Bottom line, Garou definitely does not have the portal that Blast used to escape the dimensional slash. So the only other options he has now is to either completely tank it or get slashed but regenerates after. The first option could be plausible since recent Saitama managed to easily catch it with his fingers. And if you believe that Garou, the one who was competing—
Hey, this is such a I ain't trying to be off, bro, this is such a hard drawing right here, bro. Ugh. I just want this right here on my own. I want this as a wallpaper, bro. Like, this is so hard. I mean, this background, this drawing, bro, like, good shit. Ate that.
with Saitama, tanking multiple hits from him, should be able to do the same thing. I wouldn't really argue with it. However, I'm generally against this idea since Saitama showcased that he is on a completely other level when it comes to causality manipulation and interacting with a higher dimension. But if you say Garou can tank it, I would have no problems with it for the lack of general evidence regarding this matter. But when it comes to the second option, which is regenerating, I don't believe that we have seen Garou regenerate in his cosmic state. I mean, obviously he has been able to do it in his monster form, but before attaining powers from God, his monster form was knocked away by Saitama, rendering him to revert back to his human form. And it's very vague to say that he still carries the ability to regenerate in his cosmic form, since we have never seen him do it. Void, who also possesses divine powers from God, suffered an attack from Blast that took him years and years to recover. So how can you be sure to say that Garou can regenerate while Void cannot? So to sum up this whole video, this fight is very close and has so many variables that are still unknown. When it comes to the physical stats, Jupiter Garou is leagues stronger than Void and can defeat him easily. The only win con, which is a big one for Void, is his dimensional slash. And this fight can go either way, depends on the following factors. Can Garou really copy the dimensional slash?
Dimension chop! That's crazy.
And can he deal with it if he eventually can't copy it? Nobody can say for sure when the only thing that can dodge it is something that Garou doesn't have, and the only one who can stop it is Saitama himself, somebody who nobody really scales to. In my opinion, initial Garou and the one who fought Blast should be cooked against Void, and Jupiter Garou, for being able to contend against Saitama and reaching crazy levels of power, should narratively be able to win against Void. I don't like the idea of a short-lived villain that didn't even surpass 20 chapters is from the beginning stronger than a character we have been following for years. But again, that's only my opinion. The fight itself depends on so many factors and conditions, as I said, and it's really close. One thing I want to say before ending this video, Void's chances of losing should be much higher than before, since now he is implied to being weaker than before because of Garou's dark nature factor that he absorbed, since it's fading away the manipulation of God. It actually even made him hesitant to kill. So unfortunately, we still didn't see how strong Void should have been.
See, I think we probably gonna get it on the next. Well, we gotta get the backgrounds. We gotta get the backstory for. We already know the backstory gonna come on the next chapter. I'm ready for that one. That one I'm so ready for. I just gotta see this. I'm calling it, bro. That is Empty Goat sister.
Void also seems to be a character that wants to spam the dimensional slash, hence that's why Blast caught him off guard and didn't allow him to go to the higher dimension. So I don't think he would be fighting one-on-one against Garou when he could eventually do the higher dimensional slash. Until next time, please take good care.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, like I said, if y'all want to give it the Cosmic Goat, hey, go ahead. But you know me, I'm giving it to Empty Goat. That's it, what it is, bro. But you know, the fight ain't even over with, but you already know. Link up in the description.